What's the most baddest thing you've accidentally said in the heat of the moment? We had a overly dramatic neighbor who always claimed she was sick and dying. My mom came to see my kids in the middle of battling stage 4 lung cancer. The neighbor pulled her. "Hi Rita. So glad to see you. Did Jason tell you that I'm dying?" My mom looked right at her, smiled and said, "Me too, dear, but not today." Never more proud of her. A long time ago I was walking down a side street in a medium-sized town with my girlfriend. A car was parked ahead, with the front of the car facing us as we approached. I could see 2 kids, maybe in their late teens, and instantly could tell they were likely going to say something as my GF was rather attractive. As soon as we come up next to them, I hear, "Hey baby, ditch the zero and come hang with a hero." I could feel my blood boil, but I kept my cool and calmly said, "Sorry buddy, I'm not gay. And don't call my girlfriend a zero." The dude's friend started laughing at him, and my girlfriend made a sarcastic crying face. Then we both started to laugh. This one had a little setup, but I think it's funny enough to share. At a family vacation, my grandmother was giving me grief for not remembering her birthday. I've never been good with birthdays. After telling me it was the password to her iPhone, she wanted me to take a picture with it, which is why I needed the password. While she was distracted, I opened up the settings, changed her password to my birthdate, and then set her phone down. Cue 15 minutes later. She's trying to get into her phone and it's not working. Suspecting mischief, she grumpily asks me if I've changed the password to her phone in front of our entire family. I admit that I did. "Well, what is it?" she asked impatiently. "It's my birthdate." She sat there in stunned silence for about 15 seconds, not being able to remember my birthday, before our family exploded laughing. Was a good time. I was eating McDonald's with a few friends and I started choking. The only thing I managed to say in the whole ordeal was, "I'm McChockin'. Ducking old, how'd he die? I dunno. He choked to death," while his friends pissed themselves laughing so damn hard. He was McMurdered. Got to work one morning. My chosen football team had thrashed my boss's chosen team. I gave him a load of shti for it, humorously of course. My boss is great. He gave me some shti back and told me to do a stock take on all items we have beginning with the letter C. I pointed at him and said, "1. Luckily, he took it the correct way and laughed a lot. It took me way too long to figure out that you were calling him a cunt. Well done." Around the time I was 12, I was at a family party with my dad and aunts/uncles. My dad told me that one of my uncles owned several bars. My response? "Oh, it's good that he got into a business that he knows something about." I had no idea what I really was saying. I thought I was giving him a compliment. I did something similar around the same age. My parents were meeting up with my mom's siblings to go paint my grandparents' house. That included my Uncle Dave, who was known to everyone to be a pretty heavy drinker. My mom got a water jug we owned out of the cupboard, probably to put water in for everyone while working. And I looked at it and said, "Oh, is that for Dave's beer?" This was back in my junior year of college. At the beginning of the semester I was introducing myself to my very intimidating biochemistry professor. Guy was a genius, but also a hard ass. Students were all terrified to ask him questions because he was known for grilling people, and if they hadn't made enough effort beforehand he'd send them out of his office to learn on their own. As I walked into his office he was sorting through some boxes and made a really sarcastic comment regarding stuffing me in the box and shipping it off somewhere. He looked up for my response and I just blurted out without thinking I wouldn't mind going somewhere nice. Dude laughed so hard it actually startled me a little. We got along pretty well for the remainder of the semester, so it all worked out really well. It's amazing what a little laughter can do to ease tension. One time I popped the blood vessels in my eye and had blood dripping down my face and some kid says, "Hey man, you're bleeding," to which I responded, "Shti." Cold it fooled me. Then I ducked it up by touching my face and seeing the blood and immediately going, "Oh shti, guess you were right." At a party a few years back, someone stole my friend's purse. Her boyfriend found the guys who took it and got it back for her, but he was still in an angry drunken rage and was continuing to escalate the situation when he was well outnumbered. My friend finds me and says, "I'm afraid boyfriend is about to get into a fight. I need your help. Stop him, please." I stand up and I tell her, "I can't promise you I can stop him from fighting, but I can promise you I won't let him lose," before walking off to find him. Ultimately, no fight actually broke out, and I didn't realize that I had basically said a cheesy one-liner until after the fact when my friend told me how intense that line was. I didn't mean for it to sound so dramatic. I just wanted to let her know I won't let him get his ass kicked. I didn't mean to make it sound like I was about to demolish 3 guys by myself like I'm some sort of action hero. I actually said nothing. I was on my motorcycle in traffic, on a wet overpass with short jersey walls. Guy behind me was driving a bit too fast and slammed on his brakes, sliding into me, but no damage as he was going slow enough to touch and push me about 5 feet before finally coming to a stop. The angle had me going straight forward, so I did not fall. Had it been much faster I would have been thrown over the edge to my death. So obviously I was not happy. I turned off the engine, got off the bike and slowly walked over to the driver that hit me. It's only a few feet, and when he saw me coming to him, he furiously started raising his manual window, so I could just see him struggling to pump the winder. When I got there I just knocked on his window, pointed at him, and turned around and walked away. He looked terrified. I didn't think about it until later. A guy you just hit in a car wearing a black helmet, with shaded visor, black heavy thick jacket, black heavy riding pants, road crafter jacket and pants, black thick and metal studded gloves, and black leather boots, knocks on your window and points at you for being a supreme dumbass. I had no idea. I just wanted to talk to him, be a bit angry, but tell him I was okay, then take a secretary to verify my bike was okay as well. The first day camping at a 2016 music festival. I headed off with a 4-gallon jug to get water. A girl who was with our group, who had never met before, asked if I needed help. I responded, "No, but I'd sure love some company. We're getting married this fall." Long story short, my friend would share my escapades with other people, which I would rather he didn't. Got fed up and ended up blurting out, "Just because you don't have your own stories to share, doesn't mean you have to share mine." I was the lawyer in this criminal case arising out the Standing Rock events. That morning, some Lakota people had given us this traditional blessing to wish us well for the trial, and there were 5 to 7 activists sitting in the courtroom to watch and support us. It happened that there was a certain digital document that I needed before the jury got back from a break, and we didn't know just when the break would be over. I remember turning to the supporters holding up a thumb drive and telling them exactly what I needed from the office across the street and how to get it. I held out the thumb drive, and with all the intensity of an ancient general sending his troops into battle said, "Fastest runner, go now." This tiny little young woman grabbed the thumb drive and hauled as she got back before the jury returned. About 25 years ago, I was in grade 9 and my parents bought me a pair of Air Maximum. I'm a female, but I had picked a pair of Air Maximum that were supposed to be for males because I preferred the color of the shoes. I was super pumped to get those shoes. We didn't have lots of money and it was a pretty extravagant purchase. Anyway, I was at our local shopping center and I ran into a group of guys I went to high school with. They were a real bunch of assholes that thrived on dumping on other people. One of the guys had on the same pair of shoes and said to me, "Do you know you're wearing men's shoes?" To which I quickly replied, "Then why the duck are you wearing them?" The other guys pissed themselves laughing and it still stands out in my mind after all these years. Not bad as. And to be honest, their comeback was better. However, the exchange tickled me, so I'm in a university sociology lecture. I'm decidedly working class. From the Black Country, generally a more working class area of the West Midlands, England, and in the lecture as part of my social work degree. 2 girls behind are completing a sociology degree, have a much posher southern accent, and clearly a bit better off than me. Anyway, the lecture's about class, pronounced CL as by myself, and CLS by them. Annoyed by their constant chatting, I turn round and say there's no duck in our class. Without missing a beat, one of the girls shoot back, yes, but there is a G in ducking. I had a surgery, and when I woke up, the nurse was really cute, so I started flirting with her, with no success. I had a second surgery, and when I woke up, it was the same cute nurse. My first words to her were, "How many surgeries do I have to have before I get your phone number? We've been married 8 years now." I was accused of being passive aggressive. I replied, "Which part sounded passive? I don't ever want to come across as passive." At work, when in a somewhat heated discussion of why things kept going wrong at a small company, upper management said something to the effect, "Why does this keep happening? It's idiot proof," and I replied, "We need to stop hiring new idiots to test if that's true at it." So the replies seem split about 50/50 understanding what I meant. I'd like to address a couple replies instead of individually. The context was, please stop trying to find people to actually test if it's idiot proof. Please hire someone who is not a bigger idiot than the previous hire that was let go for being an idiot. First, I work in a very small company and all of us are close enough outside of work that this wouldn't get me fired or reprimanded or anything. Second, my point was that we should hire smarter people in instead of any Joe that applied, and then the procedure would be idiot proof. We just needed a slightly smarter idiot. Thirdly, the Douglas Adams quote is what I had in mind when I said it, but I couldn't remember at the time where I had heard it from. Thanks to those that reminded me. When I was a broke college student, a wealthy older lawyer hid my car. No damage to his, but mine was crumpled. And I spent all of my no money at the time keeping it on the road. I was going literally 7 miles per hour in a parking lot, and he was entirely at fault. We exchanged insurance info, and I had to get a rental car until mine was fixed. He dodged the insurance calls for about 2 weeks, forcing me to pay out of pocket for the rental. About $600, which I definitely didn't have. I knew this guy was an asshole snooty lawyer. My dad is a court attorney, and while I have never used this flex, I finally had to ask my dad to call him and talk some lawyer at him. 15 minutes later I get a call and insurance will go forward. Fast forward like 8 years. I'm bartending at a swanky lounge where a chamber of commerce event is going on. Just for local business people to rub elbows and network. This lawyer douche is really feeling himself and charming the room. He orders a glass of wine from me and then stops and says, "Hey, miss, do I know you?" So I came back loudly with, "Well, not really, but you hit my car in a parking lot a few years ago when I was a broke college student and stuck me with the bill. Do you wanna open a tab for the wine or close out now?" He did not open a tab. Edit, you guys seem to like this one, so I have a bonus for you. Back somewhere around 2005 I went to see a band play, and 30 Seconds to Mars was opening for them. Jared Leto was in that band, and at the time Lindsay Lohan was dating him. I live not far from where she grew up, and just a few days before a friend told me that Lines acted like an enormously entitled bitch towards her a few days ago when they were walking their dogs, something about refusing autographs that no one asked for. We got right up to the front during their set. OMG, they were so bad. So we could be in place for the next band. Right behind the barrier was Lindsay watching the set. I motioned her over and asked her to take a photo. She starts yelling like, "OMG, I'm just normal person trying to watch my BF, leave me alone." Exactly the reaction I was hoping for. I put on my best innocent confused face and said I just wanted a pic with my boyfriend since we made it to the front row. And then said, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were someone famous or something." She went backstage after that. Honestly, had never felt so cool. Edit to Shti Gold. Gotta learn what that means now. Can't wait to tell the boss at that job that my bitchy attitude in fact will eventually earn me something. Like this video and this good boy will be your mailman forever. We are Redditation, and we Redditate every day. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. Until then, check another video. Or don't. Either way, have a wonderful day, you magnificent people.